Hey guys, so today we're going to be repairing all of the fiberglass damage on this bumper. You can see there's a lot of cracks in the paint, but it's not just in the paint, it goes down into the fiberglass. Got a big split right there. There's also a shoddy repair over there. It looks like they just caulked it on there. A lot of cracks over there, and I don't know if you saw it in the top right corner. The corner of it's all Bondo. So right now I've got some 80 grit sandpaper on a rotary sander, random orbital sander, and I'm just going over getting all the flat spots that I can. Whatever that orbital sander can hit, I'm trying to use it the best I can because there's a lot on this. Now you can see already all of the paint is off. I don't know what happened to the footage, but somehow it got lost. I had to use paint stripper for some of it. The paint was really on there, really thick, really sticky. It was gumming up my sandpaper. So this is almost a week after the first couple of clips that were on this time lapse. So I'm going through, I'm sanding. That's pretty much it. There's not much more to commentate on, so I'm just going to let you guys enjoy some music while you watch me work. Alright guys, so you can see we've got the bumper all sanded down. I've already started on some of the repairs. This is actually something I'm refixing. You can see that there's fiberglass and Bondo glass in there. The thing is, on the back side it didn't take. I had to rip out the whole patch, and I'm sorry I lost the footage for that. But the backside, there was a lot of really shoddy repairs that were done on this, and for some reason they mixed silicone with Bondo, and the fiberglass doesn't stick to silicone. So if I didn't get all of that off, it wouldn't bond, and it would just fall off. It wouldn't provide any structure or repair the damage. So that's what happened here, was I didn't get all the silicone off. You saw I did a plunge cut right where the crack that I'm repairing was starting at. The crack went up over the lip on the top, but it did bond there. I was able to save that. So I'm using an engraving tool to help create a bit of a bevel. It creates a stronger repair. It gives you more surface area for it to bond to. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get that surface as prepped as I can, get all of that silicone off. That way my fiberglass will stick this time. Alright guys, we're finally on to the fiberglass part of this fiberglass repair. So I've got a piece that I cut off and I'm just mocking it up. Now I'm trimming it, getting the frayed edges off. And whenever you're doing a fiberglass repair, specifically a patch in this case, you want to make sure that it extends about or at least an inch around the damaged area, because you want enough area for it to bond to. Now you just saw I was taking some smaller pieces and chopping them up. You'll see why I did that in a minute. Now I'm mixing up my polyester resin. I feel bad, I was wasting a lot of cups at the beginning, but that was all they had at Home Depot until I found some smaller ones on Amazon. Now you guys get to watch me struggle a little bit while I try to open up this catalyst for the resin. There we go, got it going. So mixing up with the stick, and now I'm dabbing it all over the area with my brush just to help the resin, the fiberglass stick on there. And then I'm gonna wet it out with the brush, just dabbing it in there, pushing the resin into the fiberglass. Now I'm adding on my second piece. Now I gotta wet that out. You gotta be careful when you're doing this, because the fiberglass, it can have a tendency to move. When you're pushing on it, it might start to slide one way or the other. Now I'm taking those small pieces that I cut up and I'm stuffing it in there to fill it up, because the longer pieces are going to be stronger than the small little bits of fiberglass that are in Bondo glass. Now I think I'm going to be using that later on. There's likely going to be some voids in there. Now I'm stuffing it as tight as I can with the resin and the fiberglass, but there's going to be some voids, and that's fine. I'll sand it down. And now you can see I'm putting a really big patch over it to hold it all together. And yeah, I don't know what else I was going to say. Coming around, brushing it on some other spots. Frankly, I'm not sure why. I think I just wanted to use a little bit extra that I had. But I was brushing it on places that have been repaired. Not going to do any harm, but probably not going to do any good. Alright, it's the next day and our fiberglass is cured. So what I'm going to be doing right now is sanding down all the high spots. So when I crammed all that fiberglass and on the top, some of it's sticking out, and you want that because you want to make sure that it's as full as it possibly can be. So I'm sanding it down, I'm leveling it just to prepare it for the next step. I'm going to need to put some body filler over it because fiberglass and resin, they aren't smooth. So I'll need to put body filler over that to have a surface that's ready for paint when we come to that point. You can see I'm sanding down on the back a little bit. So fiberglass, once it hardens, if you have any frayed edges that are sticking out, they can poke you a little bit. So I like to sand them down a little bit. That way I'm not stabbing myself while I'm moving my hand around. And now you can see I had some voids, a little more than I wanted, but nothing detrimental to the work we just did. So I'm taking the Dremel, just filing out a little bit from what I need to, and that area is going to be small enough that I can fill it with Bondo glass, put some lightweight body filler over it, and we'll be good to go after that. Now I'm going over some other spots. I'm sanding down some spots where I'm going to need to put body filler, and I'm sanding down some high spots on places that I already repaired. So you can see in that corner there, and I'm really sorry that I lost the footage for it. I really don't know how it happens. But that spot right there, that's not just Bondo glass. There is a lot of fiberglass that's up in there, but for the exterior of it, I guess you'd call it, I had to shape it with body filler, Bondo glass, and later on Bondo. And I'm really sorry you guys don't get to see much of that. Hopefully I do have the footage where I shape it by hand, and hopefully my camera angle isn't so terrible so you're actually able to see it. Maybe this is it here. But anyways, I'll shut up. You guys enjoy the music, enjoy the video. Alright, now you can see I'm mixing up some Bondo glass. It's fiberglass reinforced body filler, so it's body filler with fiberglass strands mixed inside, so it gives it a little more strength. You can see I'm wiping it onto the area, and now I'm rubbing it in there. I'm trying to get it deep into the crevices. Now I'm putting it in a low spot that I had up there, and frankly some regular body filler would work fine. But I had the Bondo glass mixed up. So I use Bondo glass on a lot of spots that I probably could have just used body filler on this, but it's because I was using a lot more Bondo glass and it was just easier to apply it since I already had it mixed up. Alright, so it's the next day and we're on to the next step. So right now you can see I'm wiping down my bumper using acetone and a lint-free cloth. I'm prepping it for what's called Rondo. So it's a combination of resin and Bondo, and when you mix it together, it creates a consistency that's a little bit thicker than resin, and it can act as a body filler to fill in really small cracks. But because it's got the Bondo, it's not quite as brittle as resin is on its own. Not that Bondo is not brittle, but you can see I'm wiping around, getting all the spots that I can, and pretty soon you'll see me start to mix up the Rondo. Alright, so right here you see I measured out the resin, and now I'm scooping some Bondo and putting it in with the resin. Now you can't see because the camera angle, but I'm mixing it up, and you can mix resin and Bondo together all you want and then leave it until you add the hardener, and you gotta add the hardener for both. But until you add the hardener, it's not gonna react. So I just take a little chip brush and I start brushing it all over the bumper. And now you guys get to enjoy watching me do that. Alright, so we've got our entire bumper coated in Rondo. I did 2 coats of it, so that's why it looks like it's much later in the day. I did 2 coats, and I had to mix it up a couple times while I was doing it. And you can see I missed a spot. I'm going back into the trash to grab my leftover Rondo. It's still in its working time, thankfully, but I'm just getting the few spots that I missed. Now this is where we're going to leave off on the video. As you can see, it's getting pretty long. So subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next video. It's going to be coming pretty soon. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video, on the series, and I'll catch y'all next time.